Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the BB-Scho. As always, I'm your host, Beebs. I'm here with my co-host, Chen. We're here for Prediction Thursday ahead of the Week 15 schedule. We got a full slate for you guys today. Got some fantasy frenzy. We got obviously our Week 15 predictions, and then a little bit of who he played for to close us out. But we'll start out with a primetime recap of Week 14, and I'm excited to talk about these two games. So we'll start with Sunday night, Miami
Hmm.
and San Diego, not
Chargers,
San
yeah.
Diego, Los Angeles. I just did that again too.
That's all
Um,
good.
what are your thoughts here? This was a little bit of a shocker for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say it was pretty because the score is deceiving. 23-17 was not the story of that game. Tyreek Hill had that weird fumble, scoop, and score. And I mean, it's Tyreek Hill, so it's like I guess you try and account for that. But
Yeah, yeah,
in terms of like what the Dolphins actually did offensively, it was second to none. Tua played very poorly. And I hate to like really hinge things from a guy on one game, but yeah, that definitely impacted my view of Tua because it's very rare you see elite quarterbacks, if that's what we're kind of really holding him to based on his earlier production. Um, I think he was like 30 something percent, maybe 40%
At
completed
one
his
point, he was
throws.
3 of 17.
Right. Like he's kind of got accuracy issues that people don't really want to talk about. Like he's a good
Oh no,
system
I'm
guy.
I'm I'm for sure willing to talk about his accuracy issues. I've kind of said it. I haven't like full died on the hill, but I've definitely mentioned it
Yeah, it's just
throughout the
I
years.
say the general public because I feel like the general public views him as like a Drew Brees archetype, like is gonna, check it down, like always make the right read, and
I
like
do
that's
not
not
think he
really
has the
Tua.
deep ball of Drew Brees.
No, no, and that's it. So it's like he doesn't have a deep ball. He's not elite with completion percentage. I mean, what do they really got? What I'm kind of seeing is it looks like everyone else around. And again, it's hard to take away from a guy who's was throwing for 400 yards. But when I don't know if this reigns true anymore, but Tyreek Hill was up there in terms of leading the NFL in receiving, and at a time, him and Jalen Waddle both were in the top five for receiving yardage. And so it's like, is it really just the fact he's in one of the best, like speed, high powered, like a Kyle Shanahan dream offense, or yeah, I don't know. And that's you can debate that all day long. I don't want to like pin it all on one game, but I definitely have my eye on Tua, and I'm not as high I was on him earlier in the season. To put it that way, he's not Tua turn the ball over, but he's Tua can't get the ball over there. Like he's just like, that's just really all I can do. Like, he's not making like the big mistake, but if you're just not going to be able to do anything, especially in a primetime game, and they're going to have to play tough teams in the Chargers, and they didn't look
Yeah,
good
they've
against
lost. They've lost three
49ers.
straight. Look, I made a
Yeah.
TikTok about this, and so I don't feel the need to really hammer the point home as hard as I did there. But the narratives, the ideas that Tua is even in the same stratosphere, let alone people were saying he was better than Justin Herbert.
Mm-hmm.
This was, I mean,
We got to
the numbers
relax.
speak for
Yeah.
themselves. Like, guys, relax, right? Like, wins are not a quarterback stat. And that's where I'm,
No.
the longer that we're doing this and I'm taking the time to watch film, watch all the games, really study what's going on so I can have accurate takes for you guys. The more we've done that, the more my actual opinion of Tua has changed. Yes, he's a winner. Yes, he finds ways to win games, and yes, he's in a great situation. But he does not do a lot of what's happening. Does that make sense? Like
No,
when it
I
comes to a
totally, I
guy
think
like
at times,
Herbert who has to play hero ball 24/7. I mean, I watched Justin Herbert play and it looks like 2018 Aaron Rodgers like coming back and trying to run the table. Like they ride or die with Justin Herbert. He has no weapons and he's a bad coach. When it comes to Tua, he's got the best weapons maybe any quarterback's ever had, and he's got a really nice young head coach. So, you know, pick your poison, right? Like I would not,
do you
I'm
think the
not.
Dolphins lose a game if they got Herbert instead of Tua?
Yeah, I'm sure they lose a game. I don't know if it's more than that, but
Yeah, I think that's. I know we do that exercise a lot in like the NBA, switching teams, or whatever. But I'm sorry if Tua was on the Chargers, they wouldn't even be like that 500 Chargers.
well,
It would
but
be
here's
like
the
two or
part
three
about Tua
wins.
that I sometimes struggle to characterize is the reason why I liked him so much at the start of the year is because he would do like when they didn't have all these weapons, they'd be like 1-6, was it right? And then they came back and made the playoffs when he came back from injury. So it's like there's still something
Mm,
there that he's doing well before he gets the benefit of Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. I guess he had rookie Waddle, but you get my point. Like
yeah,
there was still success there, and still like he was not worthy of the hate he was getting, and now I don't think he's worthy of all the hype he's getting. If that like we've completely flip flopped, and I've just found myself stuck in the middle on him. I think he's a top 14 quarterback. I'll say that.
yeah,
Maybe
that's
maybe
probably around what I'm saying.
it's
Like
probably maybe a little bit higher, but I
he's
don't
probably
know.
not 14, but I also like my confident putting him in top 10. No, not at the moment.
Yeah,
I
like
feel like I could go off
you
my
know,
head and list that. So ah, it's a slippery slope, and really just I guess the takeaway I think for this game is quarterbacks get way too much blame and also at times way too much credit. Because even this earlier this season, people were like having question marks about Justin Herbert. And it's like anytime I watch him play, I feel like you see kind of the same way.
yeah,
Like
you want
you
to talk about
mentioned the hero
passing the
ball,
eye
but
test?
yeah, like he passed the eye test in every single thing. And I just ones a lot of times just it's like, oh, what was that? And it kind of hurts your eyes at times. So that's
Yeah,
just something a cautionary tale, if you will.
yeah,
And
and I do want to like overemphasize. I'm not on the like I'm still not saying Tua is trash. Like, having a
no, he doesn't
great season.
stink.
He had one bad
Yeah,
game. It's just like
I got question marks. He can
when
make all like most of the
no, I
throws, but
pump the brakes hard and get really frustrated when people come out and say things like Justin Herbert is not as good as Tua. Dude,
yeah,
shut up. Like that is such a casual take. It is so like I actually don't even know if it's casual. Watch the game. How do you say that?
right.
You watch the
It's almost kind of a
games, right?
bonehead take. Like,
Like I and then when it comes for Herbert, like I get that he has like this, this Chargers-esque like connotation with him where he can't win more than half his games. It's funny. And it's true, right? But like he's an elite talent and Tua is a great talent. Does that make sense? Or maybe even a good talent, right? Like
yes, I would say good.
and I'll ask you this: what is this Chargers team, man? I'm done trying to guess.
They're a team that, well, they won last week, so they're probably gonna lose this week. Like, I don't. It's I love Justin Herbert, but it's like I don't trust this team. Like the consistency of this team
I
is
mean,
not
they haven't
there.
been. I'll say this: they haven't been healthy all year, and this was
They're
one of the
starting
only
to get
games
back
they
there.
got all, at least offensively, all hands on deck, and they looked great. So
Yeah,
maybe that's what it's been. I know people are thinking Keenan Allen's lost a step. I might be in that camp, and Mike Williams, I've never really been that big a fan of. I think any guy that you have to throw open every single time you throw him the ball. I mean, he's
not
valuable in
ideal.
a sense, but they need a number one guy because we've talked about Keenan Allen enough, but
Yeah,
yeah,
I
I
think he
don't
gets a
know
little
where
too
to
much hate
characterize
too.
them. I
If
really
he's
don't know.
healthy, I think he's all right.
No, he's top
Like
12.
you know what I mean? Like when he's healthy, like I think he's pretty good. And we can obviously pan, we have another primetime game to cover, but I do think if that like you mentioned, you got the Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, Joshua Palmer, I believe, emerged pretty, I would say, he showed he can play this year. Just so to have like
Yeah,
three
but that's not.
healthy weapons with Everett and Eckler, I think if this Chargers team is healthy, they can do damage, but they don't really have a consistent
I
coach, and that's
disagree.
why it's
I,
an
I don't.
inconsistent team.
I might disagree when it comes to their weapons. Outside of Eckler, I'm not really a fan of any of them at this point. Like Keenan Allen, and I've said this before, but Keenan Allen, yeah, he's a top 12, top 15 receiver, but like he's not somebody that you can throw to. Like he's not a game breaker. Does that make sense? Like he's not.
No, I agree. He doesn't like change games, but I also would say like Julian Edelman is number one was not game breaker. Like it's consistency. And so like I'm not gonna say this is an elite group because by no means it's not, but I also don't think it's bottom of the barrel. I think when you say like top 14 for like Tua, I think this team is like in terms of weapons, like 14, 18 range. Like when I think of like the Bears and the Titans, like there's teams that have nobody. At least they have
Yeah.
a couple. They have a couple of somebodies and guys that will pop off for a game or two. But again, as we're talking this through, it's inconsistency. Like even just analyzing it, where
I think
like
part of
it's
that, there's and I've said that we both said this all year. I think you hit it. Like coaching is what the inconsistency comes from.
that's key. That's key. And hey, eh, we can keep that inconsistency going. When's Cliff gonna go, man?
I think
I
he's done.
understand Kyler
I
Murray
think he's
went
done. I
down,
think they'll give him to the
but
end of the year. But at
let him
this
finish
point,
it.
yeah, I think at this point the writing is on the wall. The GM's on a leave of absence right now. Did you see
Yeah,
that?
I saw that.
I don't even
Yeah,
know
Steve
like what
Keim.
that.
Yeah,
I don't even know what that means. But I think
couldn't
that they
tell you.
should clean house, in my opinion. Fire the GM, fire the head coach. I don't care if they just extended Kingsbury, and maybe even trade Kyler. That's a
It was
different
weird they
discussion.
extended him too. That is really weird.
But
He was not really qualified in the first place. You ever think about that? Like he literally just coached Mahomes at Texas Tech. Like, yeah, this guy's legit, but like he really hadn't proved a whole lot.
and look, I have something to say too, and I have a stat here regarding the Cardinals, and I am
Yeah.
planning on making a TikTok about this. But since Week 7 of last year, when the Cardinals lost at home in primetime to the Packers, and they were 7-0, and they
Yeah.
lost, they are 1-11 at home since that game.
That is incredibly bad. I don't think
Yeah,
actually the Texans probably match that. Might be better. I'd have to check the receipts. I think their win
I
at
would
home
get the, I would
this
guess that
year,
they'd be better. I mean, I'm just
yeah,
gonna be
they
honest.
might get 2 wins, but holy cow, man.
I mean, so just talk
That's
about, and I don't know what it was about this. This team was 7-0, and I actually really liked them. They were looking really good last year, that is. And
yeah.
I don't really know what it was about that Packers game where the Packers came in and won, and I don't know what flipped in that game that they just have not been the same team since, but they have not been anywhere close. What did they finish the
No.
year at last year? Like 9-7, 10 and
Well,
seven.
I think it was 10-7, but when you take an account they were 7-0, you finished the
So
rest of the year 3-7.
yeah, so what does that mean? That means they're 7-16 since that game.
Very poor,
Yeah.
in lack of better words.
And look, you never wish an ACL on anybody, but there's a part of me that
No.
wonders if we might not see him again in a Cardinals uniform.
Yeah, I don't think you're really wishing anything by that statement. I think it's just do the Cardinals. I could see them bringing in a different coach, like in terms of culture and the way they view the game, and just not like Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
Like they might just be like, I don't want this guy leading my team. Get him out of here while his value's still high. Because even though he's tore his ACL, you could argue he's still got a high value due to like earlier in the year he showed flashes. He still got the ability. But I don't really want to say that Kyler Murray has improved since he's gotten in the league. I know that might be a hot take, but numbers wise, might back that up in my
I
opinion.
look,
And
any guy
he's definitely not
he's
grown like as a passer.
clearly emerging as a locker room. I don't want to say cancer, but problem, right? I don't think he's fully like a locker room cancer yet, but he's definitely a problem. He seems to be disgruntled always,
Yeah.
as like Madden would say.
Yeah, it's
So,
just not something you want.
and
Plain and
yeah, I think
simple.
if you're going to clean house, blow it up, you got assets. The team's not bad. Trade DeAndre Hopkins. I think that's
Yeah.
the best course of action because I don't see this core winning long term for Arizona. So unless they're really committed to Kyler Murray, man, I don't know. I could see him going somewhere like Detroit might make that move.
I don't think they move off Goff, and
Houston.
I don't think they. I was just about to bring up Detroit because I would argue that Arizona has by far and away a better roster. But you see the Lions, their culture the way Dan Campbell coaches those guys, the way everyone's bought in, they have a staff of all former players that let the players be themselves. I think that is a very key thing, especially in today's day and age. I just am personally under the impression that culture is a lot more impactful now back than it was 10, even 15 years ago.
No, it's always been impactful, man.
I think it's been impactful, but like
you want to talk about culture being impactful, and you're going back to like prime Patriots domination, and like that's
those
the best.
They had a lot of those guys to get like a lot of stars and superstars, and I will agree.
No, they didn't. No, they didn't.
Okay, no, we're not going to do this. They had Vince Wilfork, Richard Seymour, like Mike Vrabel, longtime.
Yeah, and they were all
Asante Samuel,
and they were
McCourty.
all.
I could go down the
products
list
of the culture, in-house draft picks that they developed.
Richard
for the
Seymour,
majority,
they traded for Moss. They traded for like I could keep giving you examples, but I'll stop. I'm not disagreeing with that their culture was a factor. I'm just saying I think it's more prevalent today because of the fact we're seeing teams pop up out of nowhere.
We're seeing a prevalence of horror culture today as compared to 10 years ago. Does that make sense?
Oh, like, there's poorer cultures. That's why I think it matters. Like the culture part's lacking, but the actual talent of players, like that is starting to level out. Like the worst quarterback into the league today is like a lot closer than in terms of like 5 years ago, even like some of the worst quarterbacks were bad. Like they were more double interceptions and touchdowns. And like now it's, if you have a couple more picks and you're benched, like me, you see Zach Wilson. Like these leashes are a lot shorter because there's a lot more talent. So that's just where I'm going with the
I think your take, and I would agree with this, your take is coming from
culture is more important than ever. If that is my main point.
Yeah, I could get
because of
that.
Like you said, there's some
it's always been
culture in teams. Yeah,
no
doubt.
Go all the way back, right? Why did the Steelers and Cowboys and the Niners dominate for so long? Like that's why, and you get a good core of stars, right? Like obviously talent matters to some extent, but the Steeler way, like culture, that's same thing for Dallas. It's everything. So, when it comes to today, I think what we're seeing is specifically this year and maybe last year, we've seen a number of guys go into traditionally losing cultures like Detroit, the Jets. I actually don't think the Giants have a traditionally losing culture, but as of late,
but I would agree with you.
They did, and they've had a complete turnaround. And so you're seeing that, and then those mediocre cultures, right? Like Arizona, the Raiders, right? The Chargers, right? We're starting to we see what happens here with these poor, bottom of feeder teams, right? Even Cleveland, Miami, throw them in there, right? One head coach hire, turnaround like that, right? And then you go look at these mediocre teams who are kind of, I don't know, they haven't really done much, but they haven't been terrible, right? The past 10 years.
Just in the middle. They're
floating. You point your finger and you're like, what are they missing? And I think that it's becoming more apparent that's what it is. And coaching matters, man. We're agreeing for sure on that. So
well, look at what do you add more to the Cardinals offensively? Like, I would love to know.
Oh yeah, great question.
I understand Zach Ertz got hurt, but you got to be kidding me. They had DeAndre Hopkins,
what do you add?
Brown,
what do you
Rondale
add?
Moore.
Even defensively, man. Even defensively, they're not bad.
JJ Watts, Budda Baker.
He's okay, but Budda Baker, Isaiah Simmons, God, gosh, dude.
Simmons he should be so much better than he is. He frustrates me as a player. He is such a good talent.
He's not? Because he has terrible coaching.
Yeah, like culture.
That is 90% of draft picks. As a player, if you go to a successful place and find the right position, you will be. It's all about luck. If we're literally being honest,
a big part of it.
Think about Mahomes is the prime example of this. He's the prime example of if he was anywhere else, do you think he would have been even nearly as successful? If he'd have got drafted high by the Browns, he'd have been out of the league.
Oh, that I'm gonna have to push back. Baker that's a bit strong. Baker brought the Browns to a playoffs. I think we see Justin Herbert as some of those guys, their talent is so good can overcome it. But there is that line
Yeah,
of
but you got to
like
remember Mahomes coming out of college was really just an arm strength. He had terrible footwork, terrible technique, and he threw. I'm pretty sure he threw a decent amount of interceptions at Texas Tech. I'd have to double check that, but I know for sure he was not well touted as a what am I saying? What's the word for a prospect?
prospect.
Yeah,
He was, yeah. There was question marks, but that class was interesting to me. People had Trubisky at one, and was Darnold the other guy?
yeah.
Yeah,
Deshaun Watson.
Sean Watson. That a lot of people had
What I'm
different
saying is
rankings
this
for
is
all the
like,
dudes.
okay, Darnold is another example, right? Darnold gets drafted, goes to the Jets. I honestly think if he goes to a better situation, he's probably a really solid starting quarterback.
Really, just anybody but Adam Gase.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, right? Like
Like
you're
I
agreeing,
can't
like
believe he
you
held that
go to a
job so
place,
long.
you go to a place like that, and it just derails your career. Like you're screwed,
And
right?
you know what? I will give you this. I think if Mahomes had Adam Gase, that might have been a complete disaster. Like
Yeah,
that we might have seen Zach Wilson 2.0. Like when I think about that, like really bad, like Matt Patricia comes to mind, Josh McDaniels currently. Yeah, those are career
yeah.
killers. So I will say this that there's a couple of throughout because this year I don't think
Think
there's a
about
team the
this too.
Texans are bad, but they're not killing careers per se. Like they're
Here's
still kind of
another
competitive.
example of somebody who benefited from culture. Russell Wilson. Clear as day.
Yeah,
Clear
that's
as day. Benefited from culture, coaching, and
dude.
I don't even know the other
I
words.
couldn't push back on that if I wanted to.
You
I
know, he
couldn't.
deceived us all, man. We were all sucked into that one.
Yeah,
And now that guy,
was.
he's just bad.
I thought I was familiar with this game, man. I guess I'm just not at all. But
I don't know. I really don't know how we got here from. Well, we talked about the Cardinals losing culture. So.
yeah, I know. It was good talking
And I
points.
don't think they're historically that big of losers either. They're kind of historically
Uh,
middle of the pack. I don't know.
yeah,
Maybe I'm
yeah.
twisted because they were pretty decent when I was growing up with Kurt
They're
Warner.
just so mid, yeah.
Um,
That's what I think of when I think of Arizona. But no, we can keep rolling. I know we spent a lot of time in these games and we're talking about our just ideas and
yeah,
observations we
our
see in the NFL
philosophies, man.
nowadays. Yeah. It just needs to be said because
What
sometimes
is
I feel
this?
like people watch it in the long lens.
Real quick thoughts on the Patriots right now? I think they're in the hunt, and I think they'll get there.
I mean, you don't have to tell me that. I was the guy who said all the teams in the NFC East were going to make it.
You did say that. I
I,
don't think
I'm
that's true. I think one of them's gonna. It's either gonna be the Patriots.
Who
Actually,
do you
I
who do you think's taking it? Who do you think's gonna take the spot from him? I don't trust the Chargers, and I don't see anybody else at this moment. Ravens, depending
no,
on
I don't think
schedule.
the Patriots are out. I think that yes, the Ravens are going to take one of those wild card spots. They already have 2 games on the Patriots.
You think the Jets? You think the Jets are gonna fall
I
out?
think the Jets are falling out, or the Dolphins fall out.
Wow, we'll
They've looked
see.
really bad the last
We
three
will
weeks,
see.
but we will see.
They have,
That's
yeah.
really unlikely to me, but
Mm-hmm.
it is in the back of my mind.
That would be a disaster piece if they look so good again this year. They beat the Bengals.
Yeah,
Dolphins. I mean, they were hot, but
yeah. I
no,
mean, you
that
forget
is
like Baltimore's on top of that division right now.
yeah, I guess technically speaking they are.
So they're ahead.
So okay, it's probably gonna two of the North then. But all right, no, that is some very good because the other two divisions are. It's gonna be probably one
Yeah, and the
apiece.
Bengals probably won't lose another game. So,
Realistically, yeah.
all right, let's do some fantasy frenzy, man. And for once, for the first time in a while, because I had a 3-game losing streak, so I don't know if that means much, but you've got the first pick. And a quick recap of last week, I ended up winning 157-98. So I guess when it's bad, it's when it rains, it pours. So that brings me to 4-6, and you 6-4. I have 1,471 total points. You have 1,438. So I'm 2 games back,
Okay.
but we're pretty tight with the points. It seems to be bouncing back and forth week to week. So without further ado, I can The floor is yours. First overall pick. Well,
Yeah,
actually, wait. For those of you who are new, I forgot to say this before we shut. For those of you who are new, we do Fantasy Frenzy every week. Sorry I interrupted you, but
it's all good.
the guys we drafted last week are unavailable to be picked. We do this every week. It's a season-long contest. So that being said, go ahead.
No, yeah, and for the people that are not new here, I think you know what's coming. Travis Kelce's on the board, so he gets taken off.
Yeah.
And for the people that are like, why is he a tight end in the fantasy? One, it's between two people, so you got to understand we're playing kind of keep away at times. It's a different strategy when you're drafting two man, and also the tight end crop. It's no surprise. I mean, it's been bad all year outside of pretty much Kelsey. So
pretty brutal.
Yeah, there's the shocker of the night.
All right, I'm gonna have to play this. I got to do this the right way because if I get the guys I want, I we'll see though. We'll see. So I'm gonna follow that up with Tyreek Hill.
Nice.
I feel like I don't really need to explain that. So
yeah, no, I don't really think you do. He's definitely the best receiver off the board.
Yeah.
That's where things get interessante for me. I'll go running back here. I'll take Austin Eckler. He's actually been very reliable as of late. And I don't know. I'm just kind of hoping that he keeps it up. He's kind of a guy that's not super explosive, but just by volume alone, he usually gets to 20.
I think he's going to break the reception record for running backs. That is. Yeah.
That'd be fantastic. Load those PPR points, man.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to do it. I know he's got the worst possible matchup this week, but I don't care. I'm going to take Justin Jefferson.
That's fair.
Colts are the best best fantasy defense against receivers, but it's Justin Jefferson, man. He's coming off 260 yards. Or not 260, but 200, whatever it was.
Yeah, no, boy. Now I'm thinking. I got
looking at his notes here.
Yeah, can I real quick? Can we just pause?
Oh. All right, we're back, ladies and gentlemen. We had a technical hiccup there, but keep the draft moving. I've got Hill and Jefferson. You've got Eckler and Kelce, and it's your pick.
Yeah, so this is where, man, I'm a little torn up here. Do I? No. I'm not gonna try, and I'm just gonna go the opposite way. I'm gonna take Derrick Henry.
Okay.
I don't know if I really love the idea that I got Eckler and Henry both playing against each other in the same game. But weirder things, have happened. We've seen some shootouts before. So yeah. I'll take Derrick Henry, lock out the running backs, and pass it over to you.
Yeah, I'm gonna starve you out of receivers here, which was my strategy because I didn't like a lot of receivers this week, so I wanted to take the big names, and I'm not in love. Derrick Henry was probably my favorite running back this week, so but give and take. So I'm gonna take Devontae Adams.
Okay. Yeah, no, makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I'm starved out of running back, so that means I might as well just I'm sorry, I'm starved out at receiver. I need to starve you at running back. So I'm gonna take Jonathan Taylor. I believe the only there's a couple. I mean, still good options of high volume on the board, but I believe those three are far and away than the next best couple options. Maybe Saquon, but lately he's been so bad, man. Like it's not really his fault. It's just you can't expect the guy to just get 30 carries every game all year long in today's day and age. It's just tough.
It's really tough. It's tough to pick him. I'm gonna do something a little crazy here, but I want to double check, make sure he's available. It's not too crazy when you really think about how good he's been all year. I'm gonna take Jalen Hurts. I'm in no rush to take my other positions, so I might as well take the one I want the most here. Of the position you still need.
Fair take. I think this guy's been under the radar just because, well, Buccaneers as a team have been good, but they pass the ball a lot, and I'd be a fool to not take, given what's left, one of Tom Brady's weapons. So I'm going to go with Chris Godwin. I think he's kind of got that nice floor that I'm looking for. I can't have busts again this week, quite frankly. I just need some consistent scoring, and I think he'll provide that.
That's a solid pick. That would have been the flex option I would have taken if you'd gotten Devontae. All right, so I'm gonna have to grab at least my first running back here. And yeah, there's not a lot left, but there's a couple guys that I think have decent floors. One of them is Miles Sanders. This is kind of a risky play here, but they've been running the ball really effectively, and Chicago is not very good. So I'm hoping they're up and running the ball to get the clock out, to run the clock out. Sorry.
Jeez, yeah. So I guess I'm just gonna have to hedge the other way and take A.J. Brown. So in the sense that if you benefit from Jalen Hurts, well, hopefully so do I.
Yeah, it's worked before.
It has worked before, and boy, do I need it now.
Just gonna hope that they throw it on the one, and then
yeah. There might be a best of both worlds scenario here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Okay, so I was originally going to take Ramondre Stevenson, but he hasn't practiced yet since he got hurt, so I have to steer clear because I can't take a zero. So I'm going to do something a little, sorry.
No,
I want to make sure.
Time, man. My receivers, I toyed between a couple names.
No, sorry guys. I usually am fast, but I'm trying to see if he's healthy, and it does not look like he is.
Are you looking at Josh Jacobs?
No, I'm looking at Aaron Jones actually.
Oh,
but Josh Jacobs is an interesting play. You might have talked me into that just off the volume. I know he's got a terrible matchup against New England, but yeah, I guess this is in terms of star power, Josh Jacobs. I know he'll play, so that seems like the safe. Well, let me double check. He doesn't have a questionable, but
boy, I'm gonna be mad if he goes off.
No, I mean he was in my head. I just was staying away because of the defense, but I'm just gonna take him. I'll take Josh Jacobs.
Volume is key for the running backs, and quarterback wise, it's gonna be such a boring pick, and it's not enticing considering I believe it's gonna snow in Buffalo. But like Josh Allen's usually due for 20 points just rushing alone. He's not even that been fantastic passing the balls of late, but if this is a snow game, it actually might benefit him more fantasy wise. So I'll take the Josh Allen pick here for quarterback.
I'm gonna be really mad. I was just looking at my notes and forgot that I had written Alvin Kamara down. So I'm gonna be really mad if he has a big week. So just want to
hasn't this year.
Just want to get that on paper. But yeah, Josh Allen's a good pick, unless the weather's horrible, but it's usually fine. So I'm gonna take the Kansas City defense. They got a good matchup. Why am I blanking? Oh, Houston.
That's a good matchup.
Need I say more, right? So
right. No. And I'm taking off matchup. I'm just taking the Broncos because I love their defense. I understand the whole Chiefs fiasco, but they like again,
that's the only bad game they've played all year.
Right, and we say that, but scores can be deceiving. They picked up Mahomes 3 times, so that's Mahomes.
It's a good pick, man. That's
so yeah, I'm rolling with it.
I'm gonna take Jason Myers. Take a Thursday night kicker. Just have a little fun with it. So, just cause. No real. No real reason.
Hey man,
just cause
I'm on the same boat. I for some reason I remember Cairo Santos with the Chiefs. I remember he was booting kicks. Plays for the Bears now. Yeah, I like it. I don't think the Bears are going to finish a lot of drives against the Eagles. Cairo Santos, baby, for the win.
Cairo Santos. I don't even know how to spell his first name. All right, final pick. I have actually. This is one of my favorite finds ever.
Your tight end.
Oh yeah. Historically speaking, and I don't know the exact numbers, but I know that I don't think he's gone under like 50 receiving yards
this
since
year.
Debo got drafted when Debo doesn't play. Um,
Really? That's an
yeah.
interesting stat.
And Debo is not playing tonight. So I'm taking George Kittle with Brock Purdy on Thursday night. Big
Oh,
risky play, but
wow.
yeah, I knew you were going to have Kelsey, so I figured that I could, plan my draft around getting him with my last pick. So pretty
Hey,
happy
that's
with
fair,
it.
man. That's fair. And Kittle at a time was in the conversation with Kelsey. Like it wasn't
Oh
we were
yeah,
not far removed
before
from that.
before Debo got.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Yeah, that is some nice
I was doing some
analysis
digging,
on the tight
man.
end
Some
group.
some some digging, some Twitter digging. Um,
Yeah, I
and I was
respect
pretty
that.
pleased to find that. And I was like, oh man, I wish I could take him in frenzy. And I was like, wait, I don't have first pick this week because I'm so used to having the first pick because I suck. I was like, oh, I actually can. All right. So I'm pretty happy with that.
Wow.
So
Okay.
yeah,
No,
it's going to
that's
be,
a good
I
one.
got Hertz, Sanders, Jacobs, Hill, Jefferson, Kittle, Adams, Myers, and KC. And you've got Allen Eckler, Henry, Godwin, AJ Brown, Kelsey, Taylor, Cairo Santos, and Denver's defense. So I need to get back in the win column again, get to 5 and 6, but we'll see how it plays out. We will see. Let me
Yeah.
double check, make sure last week is in there. So let me do this. So I want to make sure that it was counting. Oh yeah, oh yeah, it was counting. All right, so yeah, the numbers are right. I know we've messed that up in the past, so I wanted to double check, make sure we got it right in the spreadsheet. So what we said before is true. I'm 4 and 6. You're 6 and 4. I've got 1471. You've got 1438. So that takes us to actually go back to the totals tab. In terms of wins and losses on the air for our pick'em, I'm
Mm.
119 and 89, and you're 118 and 90. So close there too,
Wow.
which I guess I'll give you the floor for tonight's game, 49ers in Seattle.
Don't love that I gotta pick this like at all. I just feel like for some reason, whichever way I go, I'm gonna be wrong. I could see Seattle winning in Seattle like they typically do. But then that Raider game where they lost in Seattle has kind of spooked me. And they haven't been like crazy good lately. Like they're sitting at 7 and 6.
Would you like me to go first?
49ers. I'm taking the 49ers. I
Okay.
am. I don't I already could see myself kicking myself after. I mean, like, why didn't I take Seattle at home, the home team on Thursday night? But yeah, I'm curious to see where your head's at.
Yeah, this is my upset of the week. I'm taking Seattle.
I
And
don't know. It's
I,
an upset of the week. Yeah, really, really, like
dude, the
it's.
way
I
I've been
think this
hyping up
is.
San Francisco, in my mind, it is an upset of the week. But Purdy is questionable. I'm sure he'll play, but no Debo. I know, I could see, like you said, I can see it going 50-50.
Man,
But
49ers are banged
my
up.
my
That's why it's.
motivation for picking Seattle, not only hedging the George Kittle pick, but also Seattle is in do or die mode right now. So they need a win after last week's random loss to Carolina. So
Yeah, they
as a Packers
do.
fan, definitely rooting for San Francisco tonight, but I think Seattle pulls this one out.
Okay.
That takes us to
Okay.
Colts in Minnesota. We got a full slate this week, all the way. No buys anymore. We made it. So all the way back to picking 16 different games. So Colts at Vikings.
Not loving the Colts, man. Like I know Vikings just came off a loss, but I'll take the Vikings here.
I got to take the Vikings too, coming off a loss to what I believe to be an inferior team. I think Taylor has a nice day against that defense, but I think the Vikings win the game.
No doubt, no doubt.
Division matchup: Ravens at Browns. I know. I don't think Lamar. Do you know if Lamar's playing?
I don't think he is. To my knowledge, I believe it was a 3 or 4 week thing. And that's kind of why I just think the Browns, they're due as well. I don't really think they're gonna lose 3 straight with Sean Watson. Or I guess they beat the Texans, but he doesn't look good. I'm expecting their offense to be a little less lethargic, and I just don't think the Ravens are going to be able to score that much.
Taking the Browns then. All
Yes,
right. I'm
yeah, I
tempted.
like
I'm
the
tempted
Browns.
to ride with the Ravens here because Huntley Jackson's out, but Huntley is cleared. He's going to play. Um, but I think that the Browns defense, it's really a matter of if they've quit or not on the season. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Because I think that the Browns defense is good enough to stop their run game. So I'm very conflicted here, but
yeah.
I think I'm going to ride with the Ravens just because the Browns have looked so bad with Deshaun Watson. I don't have enough incentive to pick it. I don't see a reason for them to turn it around. I don't know. They easily could, but until I see that, I don't know if I'm going to pick them. So I might regret this, but we'll go Baltimore.
Okay, okay, yeah, no, I can respect that take.
So okay, this one I
Good
want to go
team.
first, and I might talk you into this. So maybe I shouldn't do this. But Dolphins are going into Buffalo, and I saw something that said that last week in LA, it was like 50 or something, maybe 50
Hmm.
degrees, and the Dolphins had heaters on the sideline in Los Angeles.
Yeah,
And this historically has been the Dolphins' demise, going all the way back to those Jim Kelly teams and whatnot. It's been their demise in this division forever. Whenever they've been relevant, they've just never been able to win late season games against division opponents who are in the Northeast. So I'm going Buffalo, and
jeez.
this just does not look good for
Yeah.
Miami, man. This is why I'm starting to question if they'll make the playoffs because for them to go into Buffalo and
No.
then they're going to have to go into New York again, I believe, and maybe even New England again. They got to go, two of those three. They got to go back up north to play, and they're just not a good cold weather team. But I think the skies are clear, if I know correctly. But I'd have to double check that. So
Yeah, yeah, no, I'm with the idea. I'm not gonna take the Dolphins. I just want to point out I think they get screwed in the divisions. Like the Jacksonville Jaguars, who are in Florida, are in the South, the AFC South. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are in the NFC South. And for some reason, the Miami Dolphins are far enough east that they get thrown in the East with teams that are in New York and Massachusetts. So, okay, I guess make it make sense. Regardless, yeah, I'm taking Buffalo this week.
yeah. All right. Eagles in Chicago. Do we need to talk about this?
I think we do.
Okay. Well, I'm taking Philadelphia. So make the case, man. Let's hear it.
Upset of the week.
All
My
right.
my reasoning why, not much other than the Bears are at home.
I could see it.
They
I could
are
see it.
right. The Eagles are 12-1. At some point, I'm just under the impression you have to lose. Yeah, I just hopefully it's like raining or something. It's like sloppy. I mean, this team they have 3 wins, but the Bears beaten like the 49ers and the Patriots and are in a lot of games. So this team is a lot better. They play a lot better than they are on paper. And yeah, I don't really think I'm gonna want to take too many other upsets because I am kind of counting on this probably being a loss, but I'm gonna look like a genius if it's right. So
I could see the vision. I could see the vision there.
it's really just it's not even like the Bears like a better team. It's just like it just
Just feels
something's gonna
like it, right?
happen.
It's
I
just like
was
March.
like
It's
Nate,
like a 5-12.
just got a
Like,
feeling, man. Yeah, I
yeah.
was like Texans aren't gonna beat the Chiefs, but the Bears might beat the Eagles. Like I'm just we haven't had one of these in a while this season, so riding
All
with
right.
it.
Lions at the Jets.
Ooh, oh boy.
Yeah.
At Jets. And but that's the both these teams do need a win. They're both gonna play
I don't know, man. Lions are the
so
hottest team
tough.
in football.
They are, but you know what? I've had just kind of like an unwritten rule. I don't take Jared Goff really against good defenses, but against like a formidable pass rush. And I just think Quentin Williams is gonna have Jared Goff seeing ghosts, to quote Sam Darnold. So we'll take the Jets, but I'm curious where you're standing with this because that is very, very interesting matchup this week.
Yeah, great minds think alike. I think that the recipe to beat Jared Goff is to get him off his spot. And they've got a really good pass rush in New York. And on top of that, they got a really good corner and good secondary. And the recipe for Mike White's success is airing it out, if you ask me. And good secondary is not something they have in Detroit. And given the fact this is going to be outside and it's a dome team, it's December, it's cold, it's on the East Coast. Yeah, we're going with the Jets. Could live to regret it. There's playoff implications for both teams here. So, the Jets lose this one, they might be done, man. They might be done. But yeah, Steelers at Panthers. I'll go first this time. I'm riding the Steelers. I'm just never picking the Panthers to beat anybody. So,
dang. Okay, I'm actually gonna go the other way. I think the Panthers they beat Seattle last week. They look a lot better with Sam Darnold. And I just think, given their division, have more incentive to win. And so I actually do like Carolina on Sunday.
I hear you. I just don't.
It's not a comfortable thing to take the Carolina.
All right, Chiefs Panthers. At Texans. Do we need to talk about that one?
No, that's okay. You're not going to get a Bears take out of me.
Here's a very interesting one. Falcons in New Orleans against the Saints.
Falcons in New Orleans against the Saints. They're going with Ritter as well. I think he struggles against Dennis Allen's defense. I'm going to go with the Saints.
All right. I think that this just screams Arthur Smith finds a way to win here. I like every bone in my body saying agree with the Saints pick here, but it really, to me, it reads 50-50, and it just seems like the Falcons have more to win right now than the Saints. Like, the Saints are not in the playoffs. It's going to take a miracle, and the Falcons are not that far back. It's a game and a half, I believe, or a game, maybe two, but yeah, I'll ride with the Falcons. Probably one last time this season, depending on how it goes. So I've been pretty high on them all year. So maybe it's just loyalty. But all right, Cowboys, Jaguars. Jaguars are hot. What are your thoughts?
Because the Cowboys almost lost against the Texans. They almost messed that up. And it's in Jacksonville, right?
Yes.
Give me the Jags.
Wow.
Give me the Jags. And this might look really bad because the last time I took them, they got destroyed by the Lions. And I could see the Cowboys doing something similar. I mean, they got the team for it. But yeah, I'll take the Jags, man. They were able to hold up against the run-heavy Ravens. They should be able to hold up by default against the Cowboys, but we'll see.
I have to agree. But to me, the one Achilles heel that Trevor Lawrence has still right now is the tendency to turn the ball over a lot. And I think that the Cowboys are top 5 in turnovers defensively. I mean, they've got a pass rush. They've got Trayvon Diggs is a ball magnet, a ball hawk. So I'll ride with the Cowboys. It's also the safe play, but that's a little bit of my thinking because I did think about Jaguars here. So
interesting. Yeah.
All right. So we're really going to test the water here. I'm very interested. Kyler Murray less Cardinals are in Denver. So we're testing the waters. How bad is the Broncos? Are you willing to pick the Denver Broncos?
You see, I don't think Russ is playing because he got a concussion, and that almost incentivizes me to pick them. And it's in Denver. Yeah, I think I'm going to take the Broncos.
I didn't know that.
It's going to be a little
because that actually it incentivizes me to pick them as well. I mean,
it's gonna be so funny if they win because
they're going to score like 35 points.
Oh, I
Look,
know.
I think
Poetic.
I think that I have to take the Broncos less because of the Russ thing and more because of the defense. And if Kyler was playing, look, there's not a lot of teams that I'm lower on than the Broncos. The Cardinals, especially without Kyler Murray, are one of
Yeah.
those teams, and it's on the road. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Don't love anything about it.
I'll just take the defense. Maybe it's 7-0 with a pick six. So, all right. Raiders, their season's probably over, but the Patriots are not. Patriots are going into Vegas. I'm a little 50-50 here. Not going to lie.
Yeah, I'm not because I think Belichick is just going to stick it to McDaniels, man. I think he knows everything that McDaniels is going to call.
Yeah.
I am never going to take him against Belichick. And if I get proven wrong on Sunday, I'll talk about it first
I
thing.
think you mean if we get proven wrong on Sunday.
Yeah, that will be probably the shock of the week, to be honest with you. I know Vegas is going to think so because, they make the odds and they got a team there. But yeah, don't love that idea.
Oh man, I just realized I got to the bottom of the spreadsheet and I just realized I have to take the Rams on Monday Night Football. God, that is such a
Wow.
bad beat, man. All right. Titans at the Chargers. I'll go first here. The Chargers are hot. Man, you know what though? Vrabel's. We're gonna ride with coaches here. I'm gonna ride. I misspelled that, but I'm gonna ride with the Titans just because they need a win and the Chargers just won. So that typically means they lose the following week.
Yeah, and oh man, as much as I'm a proponent of that, I mean it's what the Chargers do. I really think we saw something against the Dolphins. And again, we see it all year long. They did against 49ers, but I'll take the Chargers. Not crazy, happy and loving it.
I'm not crazy happy loving the Titans. I'm not very high
Right.
on
This
the
is
Titans.
it's gonna be a good game. It really is. And I think it is. I just think the Titans are getting kind of cold at the wrong time. They really have
Yeah,
not been good since the Packer
yeah,
game. That was a while ago.
yeah. Talk about teams that are cold, teams that are hot. Probably one of the hottest teams in football. Cincinnati Bengals are going into probably one of the worst teams in football, in my opinion, Tampa Bay.
Mm.
I see no reason not to take Cincinnati here unless you think otherwise.
I mean, it's in Tampa, and like the only reason it's like I'm getting held up is it's Tom Brady. But I went off that logic last week and got burned.
Yeah, I'm
So
kind of at that point too, where
I'm gonna go the other way.
and that's
Yeah.
how it usually goes with Brady. As until you're tired, until you decide to count him out, that's when he decides to turn it on. So
I was gonna say.
knowing my luck, now that I'm finally at the point of yeah, I'm gonna write off the Bucks. Like they're not, well, I'm not writing them off because they can still win their division, but uh,
Right.
he'll find a way to win this game stupidly. But Sunday
Yeah,
Night
yeah.
Football, big time NFC matchup here. NFC East matchup here. Giants in Washington against the Commies. You know how I feel about the Giants. I'm definitely rolling with the Commanders here. Yeah, I
Mm.
I have to.
Mm. Giants have been so cold for so long. It's like they almost need a win here. I'm gonna go with the Giants.
I mean, it's a
I
close
don't think
game.
they're like not as good as they were like people thought they were earlier in the season. But I also don't think they haven't been like a pushover. Like they've been losing some games, but not terribly. I think this is gonna be a tight one for sure. I just think they probably win it at the end. I'm gonna go with the Giants.
All right, all right. All right, I have to take the Rams on Monday night. I'm a man of my word. This is probably the hardest one this has ever been because I really don't see the Packers losing this game. Um,
We say it, been saying
but
it all year.
I knocked on my desk. But no, 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 I have not been saying that all year. I have not been. I have been predicting the Packers to lose a number of games.
In the
Like
beginning, it was like no
I
way they
haven't
lose
thought
to
the
the
Packers.
Jets, no way they lose to the Giants, and
I have
here we
not been
are.
confident in the Packers since they lost to the Jets. I picked the Commanders confidently following that.
Right.
Every loss since then. Um, This
I
is the
remember
one
that.
time I picked the Bears, man. I picked the Bears and felt way better about it than I do the Rams, who are starting Baker Mayfield.
Yeah,
But
that is loyalty to a grudge. I gotta tip my hat. And obviously I got blind loyalty in my team. Haven't picked against them all year. I will not. And it's an LA team coming to Green Bay in December. It's everything about it. The way
you'd
the
say
Rams
that
been
about
playing is
a
brutal.
California
But
team in December at Lambeau, but
yeah, crazy how those things kind of go
crazy,
down.
absolutely crazy.
Kaepernick and Jimmy G doing nothing. But all right, nope, it's all good. I'm not gonna go blast from the past here. We are gonna, kind of look a little bit back into the past though, in terms of
Who
our
he
next
played
segment
for?
here. Yeah, man. I mean, that's it's all it's about who he played for. So we got to look at teams he played for. And I know you said you had three
Yeah.
beginning of the show. I got two.
Okay. I'll go first.
I'll
I'll
let
go
you
first then.
start then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. All right. So, like I said, the rules are very simple here. I
Can I interject one thing and I'll do
what?
it for you? There's
Go ahead.
22 positions like on the field, and like NBA there's 5 people. Like, can we just you don't have to give me anything else, nothing. But can you just say what side of the ball he's on at least? I will do the same.
Um
Just be like he's on offense because like that's still lineman, tight end,
for the
receiver,
for
running
the
back,
first
quarterback.
guy I'm doing, no. It will probably give it away.
Okay, well that'll be probably my go-to hint then, and I don't think it should be considered a hint, just
I would
considering
agree.
how vast the NFL. There's 3,000 plus players in the NFL.
I would agree with this, but
I'll hear you though. I'll hear you out.
yeah, yeah. All right, so this guy, and I'm not going to start with the years. Actually, let me see what round he got picked in.
Oh boy, that's when you know it's dicey. Bro
let
doesn't even
me.
know the round.
Well, I don't think Football Reference says it unless yeah, I can't find it on this page. So, okay, all right. This guy started his career with the Buffalo Bills, spent a decent amount of time there. He then signed with the New England Patriots. After a few years there, he spent a year in Carolina, last year in Carolina, and this year he's with Indianapolis.
Who in the world?
Drafted in 2012.
I don't know if I'm completely as in the dark of this as I think.
You definitely know this guy. So,
Right. It's just a matter of how do I know the Colts?
and he was a first round. He was a first
Panthers?
rounder as well.
Really? And so you said Carolina,
Yep.
and now he's with the what in the world?
For those of
Is
you
it
at home, I will disclose the side of the ball at your request.
Yeah, please do.
Plays defense.
I'm gonna be so mad when I miss. No, no. I'm not gonna miss. I think I do know this.
I thought
I think
you.
it's Stephon Gilmore. Did he played in Carolina last year?
Yeah, he did. You got it right. I had no idea he was in Carolina
Wow.
last year either, man.
Wow.
But I did know he was in Indy this year.
I
And
did. Yeah, I was getting torn. I thought maybe it was gonna be like a defensive tackle for some reason. I didn't remember Stephon Gilmore going the first round, but it's really been that long. Like he's been in the league for a minute.
yeah, he's
That's a
pretty
good
old.
one. That is a
Yeah.
good one. I'm gonna stay on the defensive side of the ball.
Okay.
This guy was drafted in 2008 by the Arizona Cardinals, so a little bit older,
Gosh, and he's still
right?
playing.
Yeah, he's still playing, so I think that should maybe help a bit. He was there from Arizona from 2008 to 2016. Then from 2017, 18, and 19, he was with the Jaguars. And then these past 3 seasons, he's been with the Ravens.
So man. Oh man. It's not. No, it's not him. So I was thinking, I don't know why, because it's definitely not. But Eric Weddle came to mind, but it's not Eric Weddle. There's no
He's
chance.
retired, but very good one.
No, I know
Very
he's
good one.
retired, but it's just because he finished his career with the Ravens. Um, man, drafted in '08 by the Cardinals, and he now plays for the Ravens.
Had
And
a Jag stint.
What year did he go to the Jags? Was he on Saxonville or no?
He was on Saxonville.
What year was his 2016? Okay.
2016 was his last year with the Cardinals. 2017,
17.
18, and
Okay.
18 and 19 was when he was with the Jags.
Okay.
And he got traded to Baltimore.
Man, did he start with the Cardinals? I this
Oh yeah, he's been a long time starter. Yep. He's still starting today.
no. I'm talking about a guy in my head. I think I'm going to go with Calais Campbell. I vaguely remember him with the Arizona Cardinals.
It's Calais Campbell. It is Calais
Hey,
Campbell.
hey, let's go. Let's go.
I'm glad. Yeah, I was about to say he's not part of the secondary, but I figured saying he got traded and then the Saxonville, like that was like his peak year. He had like
Yeah.
15 sacks as
Yeah.
a D tackle. Like that was nuts.
I
Um,
yeah, that was a good one, man. Defense is
it's entertaining because yeah, some of those
yeah,
guys you don't see every Sunday. They're
a
just
little
quietly
harder.
doing really well.
All
Yeah,
right. All right. I will. See, I don't know if I trust you. I see you scare me because if I give you a hint beforehand, I just know that you're just gonna be like, oh, I got it right away. It's this
well,
guy.
the side of the ball, you don't have to give me other hints. I just feel like on the side of the
All right.
ball,
This guy, he's an offensive player. Okay.
just need a train of
Um,
thought.
let me look at his draft position before. I'm not gonna say it right away, but I want to have it pulled up before I start going. Um, okay, I'm pretty sure I got it. Okay, so this guy started his career with the Denver Broncos. Sorry, Denver Broncos. Spent 3 years there. He then was traded. Well, he signed with the Texans in the offseason and then was traded to Miami mid-season, I believe. And then this year, he is with the Colts.
Man, for a second I almost said Brock Osweiler, but so
Wow,
yeah,
what a
so
blast from the
yeah,
past!
I know I heard Broncos, Texans, Dolphins. I'm like, oh, it's Brocktober, baby.
He went to the
Um,
Dolphins.
yeah, this is last season, and he actually
Uh,
like yeah he kind of went out illegal too early in my opinion. But so yeah, back to the schedule. So he was Broncos. You said you said signed with Texans or traded, or was it traded to the Dolphins?
I believe he was
And he's
signed with the
on the
Texans.
Colts
He
now.
signed with the Texans and then was traded to the Dolphins. I'm 90% sure about that. But in 2021, he was on two separate teams.
I have a feeling it's like a running back with the Colts. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not even. I just don't know who it is. I have no idea who's behind Jonathan Taylor. None. It's not name mines.
Because they traded
Oh
Naeem Hines.
no. Oh no. Yeah. That was oh brother.
I will disclose, I believe he was an undrafted player.
That helps. That really helps.
It
Um
should. Let me
no.
know what you want. Another hint.
Bro, I am
Dude, I got you good today.
Colts. It was a long day too. I eat.
He is a
Dude,
two-time 1,000
don't
yard
tell me. Don't tell me he's
player.
actually kind of good.
Two-time 1,000 yard player in his respective position.
Dude, if it's Philip Lindsay, because I remember him getting 2,000 yards. I don't remember. I have not seen him in a Colts uniform. That's my answer because he's the only guy I remember had 2,000 yard seasons was undrafted besides like Terrell Davis.
Oh, I gave it away, man. Wow, nice pull.
It was Philip
Lindsay.
When did he sign mid-year? When did he go to the
played
Colts?
in 3 games this year. I think he's on the practice squad.
Wow.
I don't know, but
wow.
I have seen him out there. I have seen him. He has played. I don't remember him in Miami at all.
I don't really remember that either. Yeah, in the Texans, I think I remember him on the Texans.
Yes,
but it was the Broncos that really helped me, man. That's crazy. All right. Well, here's my last guy of the day.
All right.
I'm not gonna lie, this is a lot harder than Calais Campbell. Like, I'll definitely be here with some hints. He was drafted in 2014, which is helpful.
Okay.
He was with the Vikings for 4 years in Minnesota through 2017. Okay. Then, due to COVID, being garbage, injury related, I have no idea. Did I say he was on offense?
No,
he's on offense.
Okay.
Then he, in 2020, was back in the league. So he took a 2-year hiatus, was with the 49ers. And then these last 2 seasons, he's been with the Chiefs.
What? What?
Yeah. Not many names.
Jerick McKinnon.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go.
Yeah.
Only because he had a huge week last week.
I was hoping that, that kind of went a little on the radar, but I was like, well, maybe it would give some name value. But no, he got that pretty quick, man.
Jerick McKinnon, man, he was prime. There was a fantasy year in 2017 where I literally lost all my running backs. So I just started a carousel of guys, and it was like Javorius Allen. What was that guy's name in on the Redskins? And he broke his leg.
Chris Thompson.
Chris Thompson was
a PPR legend, man.
Waiver wire beast was saving my season. I'm
pretty sure James White was still existing at the time too.
James White was in the rotation. You know what happened? I remember I drafted David Johnson first overall that year, and didn't have another running back until later. And so that was when Miles Sanders had 50 catches or something like that his rookie year. So it was Sanders, Javorius Allen, who's out of the league. Jerick McKinnon it was prime.
See, you're familiar with this game. You are, because now I'm seeing in 2017, you're actually spot on. He had his best receiving year by a decent margin. He had almost 500 yards receiving, 500 rushing.
And it's phased out now. I can't use this fantasy strategy anymore. It's phased out. It goes to receivers more. It was prime, third down back, check down. Quarterbacks were checking down more than they ever have. I don't know what it was about that just phased out with Russian quarterbacks. And so you still had guys like Big Ben in the league, Philip Rivers, Matt Ryan. You still had a larger Kirk Cousins, obviously, but
Chris Thompson. Oh my goodness.
Chris Thompson was he was so good, man. Oh my gosh. Mm-hmm. I was so mad when he hurt his leg. But all right, last guy here. And I will disclose he does play offense. So
nice.
Drafted by the Saints, and I'm not going to give the year. Let me get his draft position for you for when I need it. That didn't pull it up, but okay. Drafted by the Saints, was there for a couple of years. Then spent a couple of years with Kansas City. He then spent 1 year with Philadelphia, and he went back to the Saints for 1 year. Then 2 years in Chicago. 1 year in Detroit, and now has been with the Chargers for 2 years.
He's an
offensive player, yes.
Wow, man. You are in your bag for these.
Maybe I'm better at football. Maybe I'm better at football, man. Maybe I can.
Probably. There's so many just guys that are going through my head right now.
Drafted in 2010.
Oh, You took one of the clipboard Jesuses. You took Chase Daniel. You took
Nice
Chase
pull.
Daniel.
Nice pull.
I was like,
Wow.
wait a I'm like, a dude with that track history, he was not a starter on the Chargers. That I eliminated. And I'm like, all their like skill dudes are young. They didn't go through that many teams. Chase Daniel. Oh. Or at least I got that. At least you can give me
Good
like Case
pull.
Keenum, man.
Good
Case
pull.
Keenum,
Yeah,
that one hurt. Because I like Case Keenum.
I'm out of backup quarterbacks to try and sneak by you now.
Oh, I disagree. I think there's always one out there. I
I
think
could disclose or do an old guy who's out of the league now and just try and sneak him by you.
we
Travaris
could.
Jackson.
T-Jack, bro. Rest in peace.
He
Jeez.
died?
Yeah, when he was like 37. It was a couple of years ago. I think I might have been one. Like, I mean, all due respect, he was a great player, but like that kind of went like under the radar because he was like a career backup and was with the Vikings. Dude, I love seeing T-Jack play, man. Like at times you just pop off for no reason.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I last remember him in Seattle.
Yeah. He was actually like pretty good as backup, and now we're kind of seeing why. They just had a good team, and hey, you know what?
Yeah.
He probably would have been better than Russ, but
A lot of people are.
So. Yeah, maybe they should have gave Matt Flynn a shot, but
yeah, Matt Flynn. I forgot they signed him to that huge deal.
He deserved better. He never got a chance to start. They're like, oh, Russ is our guy, and it worked out at the time, but then bro like never got seen again.
Yeah, what a legend, man. Just dicing up the Bears for no reason. But all right, that takes us to the end of the episode. So as always, we'll be back Tuesday, NBA or Sunday. Sorry, Sunday reactions. We'll have to see. I actually might be on the road Sunday, so we might be up Monday. We'll see. I have to figure out travel plans, but regardless, we'll be back for our reactions to Week 15. NBA Tuesday, we're going to keep it rolling through the holiday season. We'll figure out what we're going to do because I think Christmas falls on a Sunday this year, so that might not happen. So 26th episode, December 26th, that is. But as always, be sure to check us out on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Doing a lot of emphasis on TikTok right now, unique content, that sort of thing. So be sure to check us out there. Spread the word with your friends, DM us suggestions, stuff like that. And with that being said, thanks for listening, guys. Unless you have any closing thoughts.
Nope. Happy holidays, and
Merry
we'll keep
Christmas.
pushing the content when we can.
Yeah. All right. See you guys next time.
Take care.